Hey, turn up. Let's go. You know what it is.
I still turn up.
Mr. Leatherman, shut up. Now it's gonna be a good one, fellas.
Colin got a new background today.
Yes, I'm not at home right now. Matter of fact, let me tidy up a little bit.
You can't be telling Colin business. You know Esther watching. 1 minute. Let's drop. Make it pop. Y'all should see me dancing behind the screen while the curtain is up. I mean, the curtain is down. Somebody got their live stream playing. I can hear the echo. You need to mute your second stream.
All right, we in the house, and we are in the house. Oh, are we on the air?
15 seconds.
13, 12, 11.
Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. I look fly. I look good. Hey, good evening, everybody.
Los cuatos, hombres. ¿Cómo estás?
Are you about to open a bottle of wine, Mr. Longmire?
Yes.
I don't think he drinks water, Shan.
I got water right here, too. Got my water right here, too.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the greatest show on Thursday night. Wait a minute. Hello, beautiful ladies that are in the building. Good evening, Mr. Longmire. Good evening, Colin Hardiman. Good evening, Shan. Shan is skinning and grinning. Shan got him a new woman, just so y'all know.
I do.
Yeah, I was advertising.
Chris always be adding a plus one for everybody. So
listen, I was advertising for you, Shan. We're gonna get you booed up. Boot up.
I thought he just said I had a woman. I'm like, for real? I do.
Yeah, we're gonna get you one.
Where the lights at? Where the lights at, Shan?
I just got to flip a switch, but I don't know. I ain't turn them on.
So what you gotta do?
Like
yeah, it's actually kind of slick. But what you gotta do, Shan, is you gotta download the app on your phone. Let me see. I got it's called Keep Smile. Right there, Keep Smile, and then you can connect your LED lights to your phone, and then kick them on Bluetooth.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. Or I could just walk over there and flip a switch.
old school.
Either that.
What's going on? Is it cold out there, Colin? Because from what I understand, Dallas and a lot of Texas has a whole lot of cold weather happening right now.
Yeah, so last year I didn't stay at my place because we just get regular little small storms and our electricity always goes out.
Wow.
So it's just really bad, the electrical grid in my area. So luckily when that winter storm hit last year, I had to I knew not to stay at my place, so I actually went and stayed with my aunt when that whole winter storm hit, and that was good because we didn't have power for like four days straight. So over my aunt's house, we had the power went out too, but it was rolling blackout. So it's like the power would go out for like maybe 4 to 8 hours, but it would come back on. So same thing, learning from last year is just like I didn't want to chance it. So I'm back at my aunt's house. So that's why y'all see the new background. I literally packed up my 27-inch iMac Pro and brought it over here. So I have my laptop also. So I might relocate during the show
No.
because I got kids all around me. And we're gonna be talking about submission. We're gonna be talking about submission. I got kids all around, so I might have to relocate.
Uh-oh. So with that being said, Colin, go ahead and drop your introduction, and then toss it.
Oh, to answer your question, Robert, it's
I'm
like
still here. Go
barely
ahead.
it's barely sleeting right now. So I just looked outside, like it just started freezing on my car. So it's not nowhere near as bad as last year, but it is freezing. Austin and Dallas has it much worse though right now.
I'm glad you're able to get around and you safe, bro.
Thank you. My name is Colin Hardiman, and always glad to be here with my bros. And y'all can hear these kids laughing in the background because they're playing their video games. But glad to be on the show, so I'm gonna be muting a lot.
Mr.
Pass it
Six
to
Seven.
you. Yeah, pass it to you, Shahid.
Sir Shaheed Muhammad out of Los Angeles, California. Always a pleasure to be here. Happy Black History Month to everyone. I'm ready to get it going.
Mr. Producer.
Hey, everybody. I'm Shannon. Nice to meet y'all. Gonna have a good night tonight. Chris?
Robert
Mr.
Longmire,
Longmire.
Bakersfield,
Oh, long way.
California. I messed up opening my bottle of wine. It's a 2010. The damn cork didn't last. The cork didn't make it, so it kind of broke up in my wine. But I'm still gonna taste it because I'm hoping it's good. Mr. Davis, can you hear us?
I can hear you just fine. Appreciate you, good sir. Good evening, everybody. Chris Davis from in Atlanta, Georgia, by way of Buffalo, New York. Hey, everybody. I am the author of two amazing books. One is The Edge of Greatness. You can actually click the link on my bio right here on right there on Instagram and click on the bio. And then the other one is actually going to be really key. It's called The Ultimate Vetting Guide. I have it with me tonight. The other book is in the back in my room, but you want to grab this book, right? And the reason why you want to grab this book, The Ultimate Vetting Guide, is because it goes hand in hand with literally everything we talk about. We talk about relationships, we talk about business, we talk about friendships, and we talk about communication, and literally every subject under the sun. One thing that you want to know, one thing that you want to do is you want to be able to properly vet the person that you are interested in. And the ultimate vetting guide gives you exactly the steps to walk through vetting a person to become the right person for you. The last thing you want is somebody who doesn't fit what you're looking for because you're excited about the package that they're wrapped in. They may be the right height, the right weight, the right shape. Um, they may be the right, income level. They may be in the right career field or what have you. And you don't want that to be what kind of keeps you and not some of your core values. And this book really goes through core values, what you're looking for, what you want to attract, and then how you feel about what they're saying, the responses that they're giving you. So it's a workbook, just FYI. And with that being said, I want to. That literally kind of just leans right into the topic of the night. And I probably should be the last one to ever talk about this because I have some very, very, very uh, uh, dogmatic views specific to how in relations to the Bible. And I agree, Miss Carrington. Vetting is extremely important. But without any fanfare, I want to bring in the video that we talked about. The fellows and I literally scour to bring you all some great stuff. And I thought this was so crazy that I happened to see this video. And without introducing it, I'm going to let it play for itself. Well, Y'all remember the scene in Coming to America? That's going to be the scene that you're going to see in 3, 2, 1. Injection, fellas.
Anything I say, you do.
Yes, Your Highness.
Bark like a dog. A big dog. Hop on one leg. Make a noise like an orangutan.
I see the two of you are getting along.
Anything I say, you do.
Yes.
Now, what I want to highlight, and real quick, yes, I want to highlight the thing that Angela Simmons says. Angela Simmons is a multimillionaire. Multimillionaire. I want to highlight that. She is not married, and to my knowledge, she has not been married. She says, when I finally meet my husband, that she is going to be the type of woman that will do what she says. And I wanted to bring this to the table because so often we hear women, oh, I don't need a man, right? But we also know that an uncommon topic that we don't talk about is a single mother burnout. And I'm going to let that sink in. Single mother burnout, when a woman is a single mom and tired of carrying the load of working, paying the bills, getting the house fixed, going to get her car oil changed, and any her car serviced or anything else. No one talks about single mom burnout, and I think that is going to be the number one cause of why women start to return back to the type of wives that grandmothers had, but they can still keep the income, right? They may still work, but some of them may find different ways also to earn income. Because, I mean, if somebody that is a multimillionaire can admit that she's willing to be more of a submissive, then what do you think the average woman is going to start doing? Typically, what happens, social media or TV dictates or speaks to what real life is going to be. So at one point, TV was the Huxtables, and there was a two-family home, and the dad was present, the mom was present. Then there was the single mothers, and there are the single women, and living single was popular. And there was another fad, and now I guarantee you. You can mark my words that this will get back to the trend of the family, and more women will stop being more submissive to their man. Fellas, give me your. You know what? Hey, y'all tell me what y'all think about this video, because I have my thoughts. I'm gonna save mine for last. Come on, Robert.
I'll go ahead. I mean, I think it's a bit extreme. I mean, I know obviously she's not going to be. This is extreme, like, right? You know what I mean? This is not. She's not completely giving herself up and losing her backbone in a marriage and submitting. But to the point of a single mother burnout, I honestly, when it comes to Angela Simmons, I personally don't think that's where it comes from. I think it's just her upbringing. Like we've kind of watched her grow up. She came from a two-parent home. And some people are just used to that. So when you're used to a certain way of life, a certain upbringing, you get out of that traditional mold that you grew up in, and you want that, you seek that. Not yeah. So this is just I can't really judge anything based off this because you know what I mean. Look what she's doing. You know what I mean?
I don't think Chris, were you associating single mother burnout with Angela, or was it just two completely separate things just that you wanted to talk about at the same time?
No, definitely two separate topics, right?
That's what I thought.
I
Okay.
think that the single mother burnout is a topic that we don't talk about that leads to this kind of I want to be a submissive wife behavior. I'm not saying that Angela Simmons is a single mom and she's burnt out, or that's her deal, but I do think that these two have a lot in common. I'm going to be a submissive woman, but what happens is in order to get there, you got to be burnt out. You got to be tired of getting your car serviced. You got to be tired of working. A lot of women that I've seen on social media are saying, I don't want to carry the load anymore. That's what it was I was leading to from there.
Yeah, I mean, just knowing knowing single women, knowing the psychology of single women, I personally don't think the two, like, I think that would just drive them deeper into niggas ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like that psychology. Hopefully it does, but I mean that'll be a stretch to just believe that all of a sudden, a woman that's doing this, doing that is all of a sudden gonna say, all right, I'm going to submit and come to a man, this imaginary man, because there's no men around her, because she's doing all this on her own. So I think that single mother burnout makes it harder on men, personally.
You said you think it makes it harder on men?
Harder for me, not harder on men, because men are going to. I think men are not in a position to where we're struggling for women like women are struggling for good men. But I think it would be more if men that are looking for women to submit. I don't think single mother burnout is going to create an abundance of women, these type of women for men.
That's interesting.
Just on the video, I think that when women hear the word submission, that's what they think of. That's what they think that we are looking for. We're looking for somebody that's gonna hop and jump every time we say something. So that's to the video. To the single mother thing, from my perspective and from my experiences, I've seen a lot of women who live with that single mother burnout where they've have their kids, the kids stress them out. They're normally perfectly fine, but just everything that they have to put up with, because it's not just the maintenance of the cars, it's not just the house upkeep, it's not just the kids. It's also factors that we have in life. We have, situations where family members may hurt us and there's nobody that can comfort them. They have situations where people pass on and nobody can comfort them. We get sick and there's nobody there. So it's a compounding thing. I think what I find is the women who get to that point where the burnout is there, they want the man to be around. They don't yet know how to let go of everything, or let go enough to allow the man to be there for them. They don't know how to let go of everything to be able to submit, and play that role because they're used to it. I mean, you. It's hard to break a habit. It's hard to lose control. It's hard to give away control over something that you've had control over, even if you want to give it away. You know what I mean? So that's my
That's
thought.
interesting.
Real quick to jump back in. So when I hear single mother burnout. So when you say single mother burnout, that means there's children or a child in the equation, right? So
Right.
what I've seen with this, I've never really seen the single mother burnout. I've seen the single mother create new relationships and put certain pressures on her child, especially if she has a young son, a young black boy in particular. He becomes her man. And that's why you create these young men that go out into this world and they have no idea how to court a woman and how to properly receive and go after a woman, because they're expecting these young girls to be what their mother was to them. So I don't, you know what I mean? Like I just see it different, I guess.
I think that's one of the manifestations of it, though. I think once they get to that point, because from my perspective, once they get to that point, all of a sudden, you have to have the conversations with your kids to let them know, hey, this is what I'm going through. I need you to step up here. I need you to take care of this. That's a part of that burnout. A lot of times
But
when you have a two-parent household and everything is kind of, everything kind of flows together, that stress, that extra pressure that they have on themselves that they pass on to the kids is normally relieved.
But if we really unpack this and go deep into it, that's the reality is that those conversations aren't happening. You know what I mean? It's very rare that you get a single black mother that's talking to her young black son in that way. She just putting pressures and responsibilities of him like he's her boyfriend or her man. You know what I mean? He can't even go out into the world and get his own girl because that girl's gonna be in competition with the mother. They're gonna be juggling. You know what I mean? That's why so many young black boys struggle when it comes between a woman and their mom because they don't know what a healthy balance is because they never had that mother never had that man to alleviate that pressure off of her.
Chris done came out with one of his shirts, man. I think he finna get on this one.
No. I'm gonna go last. Trust me. So welcome, Wes. Chime in, Colin. I know you have some views on submission because you're a man of faith.
Yeah. So with the video, I think the video is cap. Like some of the other
You
fellas
think?
were saying.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, not to that extreme, but do you think that she's going to be more willing to just kind of give up the power, like Robert said? No.
It'll be like the thing that Shan talks about, where it's just like, what was he saying? It's just a facade that people play. It's like they can play it out longer, because we said 5-6 months, but he's like, no, people can hold up that facade. But with her, because I've heard a sprinkle of everything, so it's just like, yeah, it's hard to break old habits. So that's a little extreme. That video right there, that's a little extreme way of saying that I have changed. I'm a changed person. That's why I say it's cap. I think it's just for the likes, for the views and things like that. But even if she is serious, I think that'll last for a good month. I think it'll last for a good month, and then she'll literally revert back to her old self. But as far as the
what's her old self? What's her old self?
We are live.
Well, her old self is, I mean, as y'all know, she had a good dude in her corner in Lil Romeo, but she just pretty much like friend zoned him, and she went after.
We are live on Ask a Black Man Anything.
Robert, we can hear you. The whole world hears you.
I'm mic'd up.
I'm like, what is going on? But as y'all know, she went another route, and unfortunately, her baby's father was tragically killed and everything. So, Romeo has moved on.
Whose baby's father was killed?
Angela Simmons.
Oh yeah, I don't be paying attention to that kind of.
So she had a good dude, and she had a good dude in Romeo, but she decided to go the rugged lifestyle.
That's important. Though,
you said Chris, Romeo?
Yes.
Are you talking about like
Master P?
Master P. Make them say,
Wait a minute. So she was dating Romeo, and then she dated somebody else, and now the other dude is dead.
Well, they wasn't technically dating, but I think Romeo had a thing
dating. They was dating for a little bit, but she kind of like. See, Romeo went to college. Master P was Master P, but Master P, when he moved to California, he kept Romeo out of all of the shit that Master P went through in Louisiana. So Romeo went to USC. You know what I'm saying? Or was it UCLA? No, it was USC. It was USC because Snoop's son went to UCLA. So put him in basketball, got his degree, then put him in business, so on and so forth. So he was kind of square. Even though he was Romeo with the music and all of that, he was kind of like a square dude. Angela, come from New York, Run DMC's or Run's daughter, you know what I'm saying? She was a lot slimmer than she is in this video. She was kind of like New York. And so she kind of, and I mean, it may just not work out.
What are you trying to say about New York women?
It may just not have worked out. You know what I'm saying? But it's almost like, okay, so she didn't fuck with him. Then the dude that she picked, the dude that she got with was a little, kind of real super hood. And they had the baby, and then I think he died when she was pregnant. I don't even think he's seen the baby, but he got killed. So that's the story with that.
So let me jump in real fast because as a single guy, I'm gonna just jump in and jump out because I'm gonna let y'all kind of tackle this one, and then come on the back end. Um, I was dating a young lady um, for about a week and a half, literally a week and a half, no longer than that. We went on one date. We met on a dating app. Um, and we went on a date. It was to a taco spot. If y'all know me, it's not that I'm cheap. It's just that my all first dates are like tacos, right? This is what I do. And I wanted to watch the football game that particular day. This young lady, after about 3 days, I called her. Happened to call her early in the morning, and y'all have seen, the fellas have seen my after hours voice. I put that on her. You know what her response was? I don't want a guy that's going to talk sweet to me. I'm in love with an asshole. I said, checkmate. Thank you. But anyway, y'all jump back in, man. Robert, were you still on your topic? I mean, were you still chiming in? Is Robert on mute?
I'll finish up, but as far as like the single mom burnout, I know it is becoming a thing where there are more complaints online.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's kind of like the turning of the guard. I think things are kind of like slowly coming back around, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. But as far as submission, to me, submission means, a woman trusting in my leadership. She's ultimately submitting in the God in me, trusting my leadership, trusting me to lead, and also being my peace, being feminine. Those three F's, the fun, feminine, fit. Five. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, thank you for the correction. But yeah, the most important thing is just trusting in my leadership and submitting to the God in me. So I think all women, all ladies should be looking for the God in men when they're courting. But I'm gonna rest right there. I can say more, but I ain't gonna hog the stage. Go ahead, Mr. West.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know how much I have to add to it. I did jump in late, but submission on the submission part. Yeah, I think the video is cap. I do think she may possibly have arrived to a place where she will do what she's saying, although albeit exaggerated. But yeah, submission. I think submission is how can I put this? It needs to come with some understanding. So I'm not. So oftentimes women, for instance, I've had this battle a time or two. Women think that they're not being heard because you're not going with what they say. So for me, submission is more about trusting in my leadership, and we can have discussions about most things, but there are going to be moments in life, moments on the journey when I need to steer the car right, and we don't need to have a discussion about it. You need to be trusted. So when I whip this wheel right, it needs to go right. And oftentimes, if I'm having to explain at every single turn why I'm turning, and one way and not the other, that can at times hinder the forward progress and whatnot. So submission for me is really simply about trusting. I don't have a problem with questioning. I don't have things that I think a woman should or should not be doing. I think that her job is to submit to me as I submit to God, and so and in that submission, that's submitting to her will. I mean, no. So there was something that T.D. Jakes I read. I wish I could remember exactly how he put it, but he said that a woman should submit to. Oh God, I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna find it, to his will as he submits to her needs. Something to that effect. And so anyway, that's so I don't have any hard and fast rules about it. I just all I know is when we need to go right, there needs to be that trust that you
You need to
have
get
in
in
each other.
line.
Exactly.
No, don't have me talk on submission. I want to give a $10 shout out to Anthony Johnson for the $10 super chat. Salute to all the brothers. Can't wait for the next book. OG, I'm guessing that's to Shan because I'm sure Shan is uh, reading the Book of Obsidian, which I think is a dope book. I've been able to catch a couple of podcasts. As you don't know, Shan does his podcast at least 2 or 3 times a week. He goes live. He didn't mention that. I want to actually shout that out as well. He goes live on I think at 9 a.m. Eastern and 6 a.m. Pacific, and he does the insanity or whatever it's called. He'll correct me if I'm wrong. I also want to give a sweet super shout out to Bolo TV. Salute to Shannon and the panel. Keep up the good work, sir. Absolutely, we appreciate you guys for the $10 and $5 super chats. You all are supporting our show, and we appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you.
I actually want to do me a favor, Shan. Can you pull up Isaiah's comment where he said, at least the young lady was being honest? I want to address that real quick. And here's why, Isaiah. A woman who says that she would rather have a thug, right? Or I would rather have an asshole. That's, in my opinion, that's a woman speaking from her brokenness. Because an asshole is not somebody that's going to speak to you with kindness, that's going to speak to you with love. Do I have asshole in me? Absolutely. An asshole is not going to give deference to you. He's going to take charge, take leadership, and he doesn't give a flying fuck about what you feel, what you think, or anything. That's not the type of relationship that a woman really wants. So if she's saying that, she's speaking from a broken place. And I know it is. And I mean, obviously, I didn't go over the whole conversation, but the end of the conversation was, I really don't know what I want. I'm not ready for a relationship, was the end of her conversation. Because if she can't handle me at this place, and I haven't even begun to really unravel who I was, that's a broken place that a person is speaking from. And here's the thing. I know that she's experiencing single mother burnout because she has 3 children, right? She's always talking about, oh, I don't have any money. I'm broke. I'm this, I'm that. My daughter always need this. This person is this and pulling me this way. I just want somebody to come in and build with me. What I've learned from my own efforts and learning that I wanted somebody to build with, the truth of the matter is you can build your business by your damn self. You can build your business by your damn self. And the person that comes along is the person that will come along as you're building in the process, as you're focusing on the goal. What she wants is somebody to come and alleviate the pressure that she's feeling. I'm not that dude. I'm not here to alleviate your pressures. So, yeah, she might have been honest at where she was at that moment, but she's actually, 1, experiencing single mother burnout, and 2, she's looking for somebody to help her get to where she's trying to go instead of trying to get there herself. Now, granted, we all can use help, and I'm not against that. But what I am saying, Isaiah, is she was definitely hurt and she needs to heal. And once you heal that particular part in you, then you won't be looking for the asshole. All right, Shan, it's on you.
Well, I mean, I'll speak specifically on. I won't touch so much on submission. You guys kind of touched that, but where's it at? The Angela Simmons video, right? People are saying it's cap. Yeah, I mean, listen, Angela Simmons has 7 million followers on Instagram. She's 34 years old now. You know, she's a she's not a baby mom. Well, I don't know. I don't know if she ever married the guy. I don't think she married him. I think she was a baby mom, but they were together when he. No, actually, they weren't together. I take that back. They were not together. They were broken up. She was just a straight up baby moms. And then he died. And then I remember her giving a shout out to him, and he was a good dad and all that kind of stuff, but they wasn't together. because she tried to go back to Romeo. She tried to go back to Romeo, and Romeo was like, "Yeah, I'm good." Right. But the reality is the video is, it's she's fun like that. You know what I'm saying? And so she did the video, and and basically, hold on, let me put the caption up. What does she say in that caption? When I finally meet my husband, and she's basically saying, "Look, I'm 34 years old. I'm single. Money ain't really an issue. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna submit to you. I'm gonna be the husband. I'm gonna be the wife that you want me to be." And she has her brand, Simmons Beauty. And I remember when she started that, because you guys know I'm in fashion. And then she's been working out for years, but she's never really been able to work that weight off because she can't put down the mac and cheese. You know, you'll see. I mean, for years, bro, for at least 8 years, she's been consistently always working out. You always see her down, whether she was faking it for the TV or for the cameras, just for the gram. I don't know, but I know she was always working out. But to look at it, how big she is now, it just means that she continues to eat. Now, what happens is, this is the part I want to talk about when it comes to Angela Simmons specifically. She's 34 years old, and she's hot on one foot. Of course, we know it's a joke, but the point is, look beyond the joke and look at the message. She's basically saying, when I find my man, I'm gonna do what it takes to be the wife that I'm supposed to be. And one of my messages that I'm telling people is, why are you hopping on one foot at age 34? How come you wasn't hopping on one foot at age 24? How come you wasn't hopping on and then what message were you getting to the bag when you was doing that? Yes, you were, because I remember what you and your sister. I
They
remember
had
what
pastries.
I remember what you and your sister was doing. Was you chasing that money and doing all the things? You wasn't thinking about no man. And when Romeo was into you, you was like, no, I'm good. And then you went to the select guy, the Pookie and Ray Ray, as we call him, right? If you have read the Book of Obsidian, that's what he calls the select guy, the guy that the women want, the guy that the women want to fuck, the guy that you guys want to lay down with. It has nothing to do with if he can provide, protect, if he's going to be a good man for you, or be a good husband. Which probably, ideally, if you had to compare him to Romeo would have been that guy. But that's not what women want, especially in their 20s. And so when she was 24 years old, would she have joked and hopped on one foot saying, when I meet my husband? Hell no, that wouldn't happen. And so what happens is, now at age 34, right, when that wall is starting to come your way, when you're starting to realize that it doesn't matter how many miles you run on the treadmill, you seem to still be getting bigger. When all that shit starts coming your way, and you realize, damn, what did I do in my 20? When I should have been married for 10 years, maybe. Now let me go ahead and bust this joke on Instagram and show you guys that I can hop on one foot when I finally meet my husband. But you're doing it at age 34. Some women don't do it until age 44. Some women don't do it until age 54. And that's what I've been talking about. I just did a show an hour ago talking about pick meshas, and thirsty women. And I said that term came from the sisterhood, who has been trying to shame young women specifically on, girl, don't be no pick me. You a pick me, or you just a pick me, or you just pandering to men, or you doing what you need. And I'm saying, yes, be a pick me, ladies. Absolutely. And be a pick me as young as you possibly can. Be a pick me as young as you possibly can. Because if you want to go out there and chase the bag, and I'm going to talk about the Lala Anthony and Nicki Minaj live, where they were saying, work on yourself, and you can go pick your own man, whatever man you want, which is a whole different conversation.
Cap.
Which is a whole different conversation. At least she can bust a joke at age 34, but some women don't wake up. And then there's a lot of women who's already past in what we call no man's land, who's telling the young girls who's still 22, 23, 24 years old, girl, don't be a pick me. Work on yourself. You don't need no man. And don't you ever hop on no foot. Don't you ever hop on no one foot for no man. You hop on your. In fact, in our Instagram, where Chris posted this video, there was a woman that's like, hop on one foot. She was basically like, nigga, you hop on one foot for me. And I'm thinking
She
to
said,
myself, oh,
and I
really?
saw that comment. She said, "You bark."
Yeah,
I
you
was
bark like a
like,
dog. Yeah, you bark like a dog. Like, oh, like I get it. This is all in jest. It's tongue in cheek. She's being played. That's what she does on her Instagram, right? But the message is clear. The message is clear. The message is I'm 34, right? And we are, and when we look at the timelines, we say the danger zone starts at age 27 and ends at age 35, and then no man's land is 35 and up. So she's knocking on no man's land. She sees what all of her celebrity friends that are older than her, how they're living, got the money, got the beauty, and still can't land nobody. And then you realize that you wasted your formidable years, your best years, living a hot girl summer life. And when are we going to stop doing that? Now, what I do applaud Angela Simmons for doing is what a lot of other women, Lala Anthony most recently, is not telling or even illustrating to young women what they should do. What she's doing when she's hopping on this one foot as a joke, right? Clearly as a joke, is at least sending the right message, in my own personal view, that women, this is what we need to do to get the outcomes that we need. Be submissive to your man. No man is going to degrade you, make you hop on one foot or bark or make sounds like an orangutan or do no bullshit. Like no man is gonna make you do that bullshit. No respectable man. We're not out here to denigrate our women and make them. This is not fucking some ridiculous shit like that. But I want to show you that I can be the woman that you need me to be the value that's necessary for us to get to where you want this family to go. And if if hopping on one foot and barking like a dog is necessary for us to get to attain the vision that you've placed for us, then I'm willing to do that. I like that message from Angela Simmons. And she's doing it as a joke again, but I like the message that's underlying this. And so for me personally, shout out to Angela Simmons. I hate that she's doing it at age 34. I wish she would have known this. And it wasn't her fault because it was the older women back then, the women in my age, I'm 49. So it was the women my age that told these young women that they didn't need to ever bark like a dog. In fact, you don't need no man. And I'm glad she's catching up on that shit a little earlier. I wish she would have known this when she was 24, but at least she got it at 34. So shout out to her for that. And she already knows her mistakes. The next thing that you mentioned was the single mother burnout. It's a completely different topic. You said single mother burnout. And I'm saying that you said that it's the single mother burnout that's causing women to probably make a shift back around to realizing the value of having a man around. And I think you
that's
use a
part of it.
few.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you use a few examples, like they shit. Who wants to keep working, and who wants to go out and how many times you want to go get your oil changed on your car, and who's
Put
gonna
gas in
change
your car.
put gas in your car, get the
Simple
oil
stuff.
changed, put fucking who's gonna fix, ladies that's listening to me right now. Half of y'all has your smoke detector beeping because you won't put a 9-volt battery. Because you won't put or don't know how to put a 9-volt
Just
battery in
living
your
with it.
smoke detector.
Just living with it at this
No,
point.
no, no, no. Don't even know it requires a 9-volt battery.
Right. So you guys are switching around and having it, but here's my issue with that, with the single mother burnout. It's a shame that you have to come to this to become wives, because what you're asking as a single mother / baby mama is for somebody to come in and be a cleanup man. You're asking the guys that we call non-select, the good guys, the guys that went to school, the guys that are upstanding, the guys that had some dick discipline, oftentimes. Because you oftentimes want a guy that, hey, even as a single mother, you saying you'll date somebody with kids, but then you really want a young man with no kids, right? You want him to come in and clean up your mess because of your bad decisions that you made when you was in your 20s or maybe your 30s. Because you decided to lay with that select guy that didn't give a shit about you, and you knew he didn't care about you because he was screwing you and all your friends. That is the under 20% of men in a black community that's fathering 80% of the women. That's the 80-20 rule. So now that you made your bad mistakes and you realize how hard the world really is, especially being a single mom and getting that kid to daycare and getting that kid to school and putting it in the back seat and getting clothes and bottles and all that kind of stuff, and you're tired, you're burnt the fuck out. You want the good guys like Robert, like Shaheed. You want Colin to come in their formidable years now to clean up your mess. I have an issue with that. And I suggest to men, especially if you're single, don't be nobody's cleanup. Don't be anybody's cleanup man. No, 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 no. Realize that you have power. Realize that you are worth a lot more than somebody else's sloppy seconds.
Wow.
And that's my thought on that. Go ahead, Chris.
Wow, Miss Lakeisha Michelle, what city are you in, and why can't you go and get a step stool? she said, "I need a smoke detector battery right now." So Shan, question for you. The other fellows gave their definition of submission. Your definition of submission with examples.
Submission is okay. Submission is submitting to a man is equivalent to being friendly. You know, because so you guys already know the 5 F's that I've always been touting for the last 6 months: fit, feminine, friendly, faithful, and fun. Right? Has nothing to do with submission. What does it have to do with fitness? Nothing. Submission. What does it have to do with being feminine? Not much. Submission. What does it have to do with being um, fun? Nothing really. But submission. What does it have to do with being friendly? Everything. Everything. And submission and friendly and cooperative is really just an exchange of words. Listen, the reality is when I ask you to please do something, and it's probably a good idea for us. Maybe it's helpful, maybe to make us communicate a little bit better, maybe to make us make love better, maybe to make us a little bit of money and put some money in our bank account. Then please cooperate. But oftentimes, and we talk about sign language, right? You know, shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. The need to be right being the worst one. That is where and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I'm not talking about shame, insults, or guilt, because that really doesn't have much to do with submitting to a man, but the need to be right. The need to be right. Wes gave an example is if we're going in our automobile and we traveling and I want to go right, I want you to make sure that the window is clear so I can make a healthy and safe turn. I don't want to argue with you, but if you have this need to be right because you think that we're supposed to go left, the next thing you know, we have a problem in our relationship. And so need to be right is the worst one of all sign languages. And I tell men all the time, if you run into a woman that needs to be right all the time, run for the hills, bro. It ain't worth it. Trust me when I tell you. Let me save you the time and the headache and the money right now. If you run into a woman who needs to be right, run for the hills. Now, here's the thing. You might be wrong, fellas. She might be right about a particular thing. Maybe you should make a left instead of a right turn. But if she's going to submit to your leadership, I'm sure Elon Musk has made some mistakes when he started PayPal back in the day. For those that didn't know, that's where he kind of started. When he started a Tesla and he started SpaceX, I'm guarantee you he was a self-taught. He's a self-taught rocket scientist. He didn't go to school for that. I'm sure he made some mistakes, but his team still followed his lead. Well, that's the same way as your household. Maybe your husband will make some mistakes, but follow his lead. And if you're going to show that you need to be right, then you're not submitting to his leadership. And I need ladies to start submitting to their man, the men that you selected, the men that you selected. I need you to start submitting to his leadership. And I guarantee you all the other shit will work out. it'll smooth out. Oftentimes these arguments is because he believes that he's right and you believe that you right, and you guys got these two alpha personalities that's bumping heads, and that is the fucking problem. It's not whether you should have went left or right, because you could have went either direction to get to your destination. One would have got you there 3 minutes later. But you wanted to let him know that we need to save these 3 minutes, and you really didn't need to, because y'all was getting there an hour early any damn way. So it really didn't matter which way you wanted to go. But because he wanted to go right and you didn't want to go that way, you guys are having an argument. It's a mess. So that is what I mean by submitting. It's very important, and that's what I equate to being friendly. We need friendly women now more than ever. We need friendly women, right? And for the men, I know it's always, I get the whataboutisms of what about the guys? Don't worry, we're working on our guys. We're working on the men because we got a lot of shiftless niggas out here that need some help. But it ain't that many of them. I'm going to be honest with you. It ain't that many. It's a small percentage of the Pookies and Ray Rays that we're trying to work on. But the reality is, there's far too many women, in my purview, in my opinion, that need to change their programming. So the men that are available for you, like the 54% with no children and is in the middle class, will be willing to marry you, as opposed to the problems that we're having, the arguments that we're having, the breakups that we're having, the divorces, and those that are going their own way. So that's how I feel about submission. Examples, I don't know if I have any for you, but I think I spoke enough.
No, man, that was that was crazy. That was actually really good. So go ahead, Wes.
Chris, really quick. I'm curious. So, are we all in agreement with what Shan said? Are we coming together? Is the Federation?
Robert's not here. Robert's not here. Robert's not here. That's good. Hold on. Shahid, can you hear me? Tasha, can you hear? They're saying there's no sound. They're saying you have no sound, Shahid.
Really?
I can hear you.
He sounds fine to me. Test 1 2. Can everybody hear us in the chat? Everybody in the chat. Can you hear? Can you hear Shannon? Can you hear Chris? Can you hear us? They said they missed everything.
Yeah. They missed everything. Is that they missed everything that Shahid said, or that anyone said?
Shahid.
Are you saying that you couldn't hear Robert?
Tasha, they can hear everybody but Shahid. Shahid.
Shahid. Okay. Go ahead again, Shahid. Can you hear Shahid now?
Go ahead again. So, Shahid, what you're basically saying is you don't like the message that she's sending, because you're saying that what she's doing is going to be for men that most women can't get. Hold on, Shahid. Shahid, go ahead and log out and come back in, bro.
So what Shahid is saying, I understand what he's saying. He's saying
Wait,
that.
hold on, Wes. Wes, I want Shahid to be here before you say your point.